Hello, everyone, and a very warm welcome to the subscribers of the Global Energy Association. Our chat today is about the global energy of optimism. It's been a difficult year, but we, in our International Award Committee, have Marta Bonifert, who's joining us from Budapest. Are you in Budapest, Marta?
I am in Budapest.
Good.
Yeah.
Who's been someone who's been surprising me all the time. Because when people are pessimists, especially this year, during the lockdowns and self-isolation, Marta is always smiling. Marta is always pouring ideas and sharing thoughts. So let's talk to her. I should also add that, Marta, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're also a board member of the Hungarian Business Leaders Forum. Am I right?
I was a board member of the Hungarian Business Leaders Forum, but even a founding member of the Hungarian Business Leaders. But presently, I'm involved as vice president of the Institute of Directors of Hungary. So we have an institute that is focusing on collecting good ideas from business leaders and trying to motivate them for the betterment of our society. But I'm also the vice president of the European Partners for Environment, which is a European roundtable using different methodologies. We are based also in Brussels. That's our headquarters. And we are trying to bring together businesses at European level, also building partnerships with different regions and using the digital world and the financial sector to build a more prosperous future.
For those of you who don't know Marta, just look at her and listen to her, and you realize that even despite the pandemic, or rather the pandemic does not impede good sense of humor and this worldwide approach, not just European approach. Hasn't the pandemic changed your way of life as a public figure, now that we conclude the results of this year?
You know, I just looked into my calendar and I used to travel a lot. There was times when I was more out of the country than inside of the country, because that's the way how my job was built up. But what is interesting, this year I was out in January in Austria, and then I went to the Clean Tech Forum to Košice, and after that I was stranded. I didn't go on holiday to Croatia. I didn't go to the Korčula school, which was a fantastic event. I didn't go to Krinica. I didn't go with you to Beijing or to Grenada.
Or Kaluga, where we held our online meeting of the International Award Committee.
That's right. And last but not at least, I didn't end up 2 weeks ago in Tokyo with the Global Advisory Board. So if you ask me, I was very busy. I did a lot of activities online, but I was stranded.
But you're not depressed, as I can see.
No. There are a lot of things that you can do. And actually, I found a different space. And if you ask me, what will I keep from this for a post-pandemic, definitely I will not travel that much, because we decided that for a half-a-day board meeting, you don't have to travel for 2 days. So economically and time-wise, we became much more conscious about our way of life. And I think this is one of the, you say I'm positive. Yes, I'm positive. This is one of the positive effects of the pandemic lockdown.
I can tell you the same about myself. Last year and the year before that, I had 75 flights a year, 75. This year, I haven't traveled a lot, as everyone hasn't. I went to South Africa at the beginning of this year. I've been to a couple of Russian regions. But if you look at the results of the global energy, last year we had 39 nominations. This year we had 78. Last year we had a dozen countries. This year we had 20. So funnily enough, practically enough, online philosophy has worked. I'm not going to be chained in my office for the rest of my life, but there are things which can be done in this modern way. And I think you and I can honestly, wholeheartedly recommend it to people to look around themselves and to realize that, in fact, despite the pandemic, you can still do things.
Yes, that's true. That's very true.
My question was intentional, in fact, because the last thing I heard from you a couple of weeks ago was about Tokyo, which you've already mentioned now, an event organized by the University of Tokyo. You didn't go, but I understand you're full of reflections. What was it? What was it about? I understand that you are a member of the Global Advisory Board of the university. So what did you talk about?
You know, it's very interesting that the university gives a mandate to the president for 6 years. So when President Gonokami Makoto came in, he decided one of the first things to do to set up a global advisory board. And I became a member since its first formation, 2017. And we had a meeting of the advisory board every year. And there were academicians, there were business people, they were from all parts of the world. What was extremely interesting, that they have reflected their vision and they asked feedback for it. And out of it came very tangible results, like the Tokyo College, like the Tokyo Forum, like the way how you engage businesses and build up partnerships. For me, one of the questions, I had two questions at the beginning to build the visibility of the Tokyo, Tokyo or university, is how they use their connections to the alumni. This is what I also asked for from your university, Guillemot, because I think that one of the most important assets of any university is the alumni network and how much you are able to mobilize and involve them. And interconnecting, the second one is the business network. Out of it, it came out that from all the prime ministers of Japan, they have 15 alumni of the university. So, you know, you start to mobilize, you start to motivate. And the third one is the young people, the young university students, the researchers. So they started to give much more work to them. So now even in the forthcoming Tokyo Forum, they have a special panel for the youth. And they are part of the global achievements and the global activities. So I think that these are very important. And last but not least, you know that I'm also coming from initiatives related to enable women to be much more present in activities. And they decided to have 30% women in leadership in 2017. This year, when we reviewed activities that we were accomplished, Tokyo Forum is done. Tokyo College is working. 30% gender in the leadership of the Tokyo University is done. But there is a lot to do about to enroll more students, to have more academicians, but it's in the pipeline now. And last but not at least, you also have some of the new initiatives coming up. And this year, it was how to spread and increase the financing of the university. And one of the ideas that came up, and I think it's a great idea for flexibility, is the bond, to issue 40 years bond. and you know, these are things that we discuss, we identify, we reflect, we talk about risks, we talk about opportunities, but it becomes something like a good cooking pot for the future. And out of it, very tangible results come out.
It's very important what you are saying, because our conversation may look like a chat of two fashionable personalities from Moscow and Budapest talking about their trips to places like South Africa and Japan. And no, and I especially encourage our viewers in the developing world to listen to what Marta is saying, because thanks to the online techniques, in fact, you cut your budgets, but you achieve so many more things on international stage. And it's tremendously important this year to be ending this year with a sense that we can do things and we can approach new challenges from totally new angles, cutting budgets, saving money, but achieving more and more. It's very important. By the way, we are now contemplating at the Global Energy also, because some of our members, the companies, have their youth programs. And
Yes.
typically these are internal things, and we want to interconnect them with the international science community, including yourself, Marta. I warn you that we'll have to engage. But you know, they identify their best youth, and we could engage this youth internationally. This is in fact a message to all of our viewers, and if you share some of your ideas with the Global Energy Association, please check our new website and share your ideas, sending you your emails.
Just one more sentence here.
Yeah.
During the recent close down, I accepted to join the board of Visegrad for Youth, SDGs. So it's a youth platform of the Visegrad countries for promoting sustainable development goals. And they're hyperactive. And, and it's very refreshing to be part of engaged. They are just came out of university, or they are still university students from all Poland, Czech, and Slovakia, and Hungary. And they are very much interested, involved from different walks of life, from policy making to economy to civil society, but they want to do it together.
To this, I could add that within the framework of the Global Energy Association, we decided to also internationalize our board of trustees. And I've been talking to people as different as Mr. Tella from the African Union of Energy, or former president of Uruguay, Julio Maria Sanguinetti, for them to join our activities. And I hope that in the next year, we'll have a series of events on the platform of global energy and different partners in these developing regions to engage more people to get nominated for global energy, and also to exchange ideas, because otherwise, again, this is a unique moment in the global history where we could expand certain arrangements like the Global Energy Association, which has been traditionally linked to Europe, Asia, the United States, and to go beyond to places like Latin America and to Africa. And maybe not every candidate from an African country can immediately become a global energy winner, but they can participate in that process. We'll be bringing expertise to their region, and by doing so, we'll expand the network of the association and of the nominees.
You know what was very interesting? When I was doing a review recently, it came out that there are a lot of innovative ideas and startups in the field of energy in Africa. And some of them are driven by women, or Latin America, Costa Rica, the solar mamas. So what would be extremely interesting, because they might not be applied scientists, they are might not be traditional researchers, but for these innovative techniques that are helping to have local solutions, I think it's quite important. I especially like one of this year's laureates, who was very much involved with the microgrid. Don't ask me to pronounce his name, because his great name is this long.
Our Greek laureate, absolutely.
Yes. But the technology that he brought forward with the digital opportunities and microgrids, I think it can bring a lot of extremely important solutions in the developing part of the world, where this could be a good technique for getting the 2030 agenda, providing sustainable energy for all.
I can reveal a little secret with you. I moderate the launch of the COP26 events here in Russia on behalf of the British and Italian governments, with the participation of the advisor of the Russian president on the subject. And I hope we as Global Energy will participate in it. And I should underline the fact that our laureates this year have been from, let's say, more or less traditional countries, Greece, Italy, and the United States. But among the people who've been nominated, for the first time ever, we had Brazilians, we had Saudis, we have people from Qatar and South Africa. And I'm looking forward to expanding this network even further. Marta, lastly, because otherwise we'll tire everyone by our optimism, and people would think that we're being artificial. We're not.
No.
But tell me something. We're now editing a package on behalf of Global Energy, with our laureates and members of the International Award Committee, promoting the prize and explaining to people out there why you must nominate your colleagues, why you must support innovations. Why?
You know, for me, it is first of all, the prize is something that evolved during the past decades, because we can say almost 2 decades, plus minus 2 years. But it became a very important, prestigious prize of acknowledgement of work being done. That's number one. The second thing is that you become part of a network of scientists that enables you to promote the idea further and to meet people alike. So that's number two. The third, so visibility, opportunity, last but not at least, please forgive me to say, Russia is still some way is not always so clear about how is being addressing energy issues. And by bringing forward some of these innovative technologies related to solar, related to technologies, batteries, it shows that the openness of the prize to all types of energy, from traditional to non-traditional to technologies, and including management. So it brings together a very open platform. It gives visibility, it gives opportunity, and last but not at least, it connects. It connects scientists and enables to use the techniques. And some of my colleagues from the Global Energy Prize International Committee have spent times, including former laureate Rodney Allen. He spent times with your researchers and to showcase how these technologies could be adapted to some of the areas of your interest. So adaptability, opportunities of network, working together, and last but not least, it's marketability. Because most of these technologies are on the market. And it provides a lot of opportunities for innovative scientists for the future.
Well, thank you, Marta. And I should add to that, yes, I'm very proud that this year we've been able to support both the non-conventional, the fashionable non-conventional, and conventional energy. It's important. We're not putting a cross on anything. And secondly, you've just said something which is very close to my heart, and which typically produces rather uncomfortable situations, unfortunately, when I talk to a lot of scientists. A lot of scientists think about science, period. Mm-hmm. Their ambitions include a PhD, yet another book, yet another report, science. But they don't have in the list of their ambitions, they don't have an ambition to become an independent director of a company.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Which runs their science into business. Well, I have to say that in the West, this is more of an acceptable notion. But when you talk to scientists in the developing countries and in Russia in such terms, they typically look at you suspiciously, thinking that you try to engage them in something which is not theirs. It is theirs. And what's really encourages me when I talk about the agenda of the Global Energy Association, it is first and foremost a scientific prize. It is.
It is.
It is about science, absolutely. But it is also about creating that network of scientists and companies. Mm-hmm. When companies look at the scientific achievements and vice versa, it doesn't mean that tomorrow our laureates will become independent directors of certain companies, but it's there especially for the youth. I think this is one of the most important goals of our activities. Marta Bonifert from Budapest. In Hungarian, you say Budapest, right?
We say Budapest, and we say Magyarország, not Hungary.
Yes, absolutely. Magyar.
Yeah, yes.
Well, in Russia we have the advantage because why Russia is called Russia. You know that
Well, why?
because we're in constant rush.
That's good. That's very good. Well, we are called Magyars because we come from that tribe. So,
Yes, we originated beyond the Urals. I know that.
you know
Marta
what?
Bonifert,
Yes.
thank you so much. Thank you so much. I shouldn't be saying let's keep in touch. We are in touch, and let's look forward optimistically towards next year.
Yes, I'm 100% sure that with the right remedies and the right approaches, we will meet in 2021 in person. Yes. Ciao, до свидания, and спасибо большое.
Thank you.